try this again. Check, 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 check. Check, check, check. Okay. Sorry. Okay, is this the new one? Let's see. How do I make it just so... Oh yeah, see, it's the wrong one. Okay, come on. Let's see, is this working? Check, 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 check. I see you, I don't hear you. Hello out there. Okay, where is my return? Oh boy. Let's make sure. See, and this is why I didn't. Yep. See, like it. Oh man, that's not good. Okay. 5, 6. Okay. Check, 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 check. Let's see if that's coming out. So that'll teach me to use that. So let's see. It's coming out in here. Check, 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 check. Check, 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 check. So I'm getting nothing out my 5 and 6 or 3 and 4. Jeez. Yeah, 5 and 6. Okay, why aren't you coming out 5 and 6? I guess I better start this back up. Okay. Oops, shoot. I blew that. Okay. Check, 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 check. Sorry. I just had to change some stuff, so... So allegedly I've switched back to my normal audio interface. I guess I could just go to YouTube or something. Let's just see. Yeah, it's not playing. So, oh man. Such a pain. Yeah, let's see how this works. Oh, my output device, I already told you. It's made at 5 and 6. There we go. Alright. So, and see, this got messed up too. Alright. Okay, sorry anybody who's bored out there with this. So there we go. Check, 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 check. There we go. Okay, so you know what? This is, we just saw that this thing. I hope I wrote that down because I was gonna. Yep. That was exactly what I wanted to talk about, and of course, so it just happened. Okay. So, yeah, a little late tonight. Welcome to Dropping In at Pipeline Audio. This is episode 55, and I'm calling it "It's the 21st Century." For obvious reasons. If you just saw that, yeah, awesome. So you have the same problem almost every day now. This is silly. So, you know, I just called it that, you know, as we're looking at, you know, I don't know if you, wherever you are in the world, you may be on kind of a lockdown, a quarantine. We're looking at temporarily closing archaic nonsense institutions like the Department of Motor Vehicles, you know, City Hall. They don't really serve a purpose except for to herd people together and treat them very poorly. I mean, I don't know another way around this, you know, just ridiculous lines in a time where most of the stuff that gets done could easily be done over a computer, over a phone, whatever. And they insist on torturing people. It's just nonsense. it's looking like a lot of useless university courses that they still require you to take anyway and indoctrinate you instead of teach you. Those are going to be done online. I think those could be done without even doing them online, and sucks that people have to pay for them. But it's nice to see that going away for at least a little while. And I hope when this is all over, we can take a look and say, hey, was that really important? Did we really need that thing? But, we're having to look at doing remote lessons. And this is something I've been trying to do for a very long time. I would try and talk to the teachers about it, but they weren't too interested. But I think they're going to be interested now. So that's what I'm saying. What century is it? It's the 21st century. We should be able to do most of this stuff online, no problem. So I think we should. It's kind of funny because things like Ninjam, the early proto Reaper thing where you play with other people over the net, it's looking pretty good right now, right? I see a lot of stuff on the forums right now about collaborations. Wherever you are, if you are stuck in your house, record some stuff, send it to your friend. He's going to add something. That's pretty awesome. We have some of our kids' bands. They're actually writing originals and they're ready to record. And so, of course, right when they're ready, they're about to get locked down. And, it's time to get them learning, maybe get them some cheap interfaces and have them learn how to do this. Some of them already know. Some of them will be willing to learn. There's always silver linings, So I went to opendraw.io today, and they offered to get an app. So there's like a desktop app for it now. That looks pretty cool. When I tried to reopen my project, it didn't seem to know my login or whatever, so I wasn't able to get it to open a project that was saved on my Google Drive. But I'm sure if I mess around with it, it'll let me soon. Or maybe it's just a brand new bug because the thing is brand new. So at least it's brand new to me. Okay, so of course I forgot to hit record on this thing, so that's gonna. Oops. Hopefully this transmit's good, so we'll see. Anyway, for episode 55, it's the 21st century. It's time to not... There's so much we can do online now that we need to get with the program. And one of those things, like I said, is teaching. Our teachers are probably going to end up having to teach courses online for a little bit. And, that's okay. It's time to learn this stuff. So we should be going. And, of course, I'm talking to you in March 14th, I think, 2020. And the world is in the grip of the no word. I can't even say the word. So thanks, YouTube and Google. And, like they used to say, don't be evil, but seems like when actual scientists are trying to give out some good advice and some explanations, you guys are shutting them down. So I won't be using the no word, but that's why we're talking about this. So of course, the first thing I run into is that same old routing problem where it's really hard to get audio from one Windows program into another in real time. I mean, if these things are all ASIO, no problem. But I'm talking about Skype, basically. So if a teacher wants to run through plugins and stuff in Reaper or whatever and go to Skype, it's going to be hard. With RME and stuff, you could do the loop back. But out there we have an X32 core. I can't really plug some outputs into inputs, which is ridiculous anyway. I mean, why should we have to do that? But so I was looking at different things. So there's different scenarios. Like I think I could just leave the webcam mic up for even if it's singing teachers. I know you guys think that sounds like the worst thing in the world, but it's probably going to be okay for most stuff. So you can do your talking through the webcam mic, and but you know, you're probably gonna need a guitar or an ukulele, you know, some kind, maybe another mic up. I'm not really sure exactly. What I really think is going to be a teacher sitting in front of there playing an electric guitar, or going through singing with the student, or maybe playing an ukulele or violin or something. And in that case, they're probably going to need a microphone. So I don't know if I should set up a bunch of cables or exactly what I should do, but that's kind of the scenario I'm envisioning. I'd really like to be able to do the drums, you know, and obviously the drums are completely mic'd up, and that would be awesome. But I have to find a way to get a camera over there. And I think the webcams really didn't like really long cables. I think Vern Grainer told me there's some kind of powered cable that'll work or something. If you guys know anything about that, these are like USB webcams, and I need to get about 20 or 30 feet of cable into there. So it's kind of a lot. So if you guys got an idea, let me know. But you know, back to that routing of apps problem. You know, so let's just say I want to use OBS. I think I can teach the teachers to use OBS, open broadcast software, because that thing acts as a mixer for video and audio, and it can load VST plugins, so you can you could kind of, you know, if you need a compressor on your microphone or whatever, you're probably gonna be okay on that. Might even be able to run like guitar amp simulators and stuff in there. So so I'd like OBS to go to Skype, which isn't too bad actually. You can. Okay, so there is the NDI thing for Skype, but that's kind of a pain. I'm not sure that the teachers are actually going to be able to use that. It's if you haven't seen it, it's New Tech. Let me see. Let me just find it. Where is it? Okay, here we go. So it is this company called New Tech, and they make this thing called NDI. Not sure exactly what it stands for, but what it does is it almost acts like a VST plugin for Skype. Like it goes inside OBS, and you can open up Skype in it. It's a little sketchy. It's a lot sketchy. But what it does do is allow the audio from Skype to come out, and you can send audio in. So that's the cool part of this. But if I don't use this, then what I do need to do is make OBS output the input to Skype's mic input. So I need Skype to hear what's coming out of OBS, or at least what we're saying, you know, monitoring wise. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy, let me just pull that up then. Let me pull up. Man, see. It's telling me no files. This draw.io is doing weird things right now. Recent. Oh, this is so bizarre. Okay. So anyway, so if I wasn't doing this with NDI, let's say this is a mic input. Take a mic input, send that to Skype. We're already in a problem because Skype expects a stereo input. Never mind. So anyway, so most basic setup would be taking the mic or whatever into Skype, one mic, one signal, and you know, being able to hear back from Skype over your computer monitors. That's pretty simple, but you wouldn't be able to do any guitar plugins. You wouldn't be able to have a compressor or whatever on your mic, though it does have automatic gain compensation or something. But you know, for what I'd like to do is take the webcam mic and your instrument input or mic or whatever, mix it up in OBS, and then send that over to Skype. Now, OBS has a virtual webcam, so Skype can think that the output video of OBS is your webcam, and that works really good. It's the audio that's tricky. So when you do it in NDI, you can actually send to Skype. I think you can send to Skype that way. I can't remember exactly, but it's just weird. Like, how do I get OBS out? Yeah, let me put this in here. So OBS. So I want to take OBS out, audio out, and make that Skype's microphone input. And of course, I'm going to have Skype's output go out to the computer speakers. And so that comes to how is the teacher monitoring? Are they just listening to an amp that's there, or if they're playing an acoustic instrument, I guess it doesn't matter. But do they have to hear it out the computer speakers? I don't know. Will they be playing with headphones? I don't know. So this is kind of tricky. And then if you add Reaper to the equation, then it gets really ugly. So now you have to somehow capture Reapers out. And OBS now does have Skype drivers. They're sketchy. And they can also do output capture. But that doesn't always work. And it definitely doesn't work when I'm using Reaper in ASIO mode. And that gets tricky. With my RME, you can do a loop back and make that all work. But ideally, you'd be going into Reaper. See, then again, you know, who knows? The teacher's really going to want to learn all this stuff. But ideally, I'd put whatever audio I want that student to hear into Reaper, you know, microphones and maybe not the webcam mic. That could go straight into OBS. But whatever the electric guitar, microphones, whatever, mix those up in Reaper, use all the plugins I want, everything that I expect to hear, and send that out to OBS. And then somehow OBS sends all that out to Skype. Now, it can probably be done through NDI, sort of. Getting Reaper to OBS, that's going to be a hard part. So, what we're looking at here, let me see. I'm going to pull that. So there's a couple ways that people used to do this. The dumbest one, I hated this idea where somebody just says, oh yeah, just use another computer and send to that. I'm like, why? The audio's already in the computer. The other apps are already running. Why can I just not take that audio that already exists on that computer in real time and move it to another program? So that's one way around it. Mac kind of has a way of doing it. They used to have Soundflower, which was pretty cool, but you know, it doesn't cover everything because there's also the new version of Wasapi, whatever, WAS API, the Windows thing. Let me pull it up. So I'm going to open up the sound settings. And now they have advanced sound options and app volume and device preferences. So you can go in here and choose some outputs. Notice it won't let me, it'll let me pick for some things and not for others. But you can choose the input and output now. You can't, as far as I know, you can't take an output capture and bring it on the input. But with RME and stuff, you could loop back. But out there, like I said, it's using that Behringer X32 rack, and that's using just the Sycon drivers, I think, with the USB card. So that's really not going to work all that good. So WAS API might do it. Sometimes you can get away with virtual audio cable. That was, you know, the guy who makes Voicemeter. That was one of his early products. It's really good. But, you know, it's a little sketchy sometimes, and the way it works is weird. You can't just necessarily take it from anything. It's just got to be WDM or whatever. A little bit tricky. Yeah, so if you use the stereo mix thing, that should work when you're doing WDM drivers or you know, anything but the ASIO drivers. It most likely won't work when you're doing ASIO. So I try to keep these computers working so that they can be in the lowest latency mode possible all the time. And that means I'm using my ASIO drivers, which makes it even harder for other things to hear. But some companies, their WDM drivers or whatever that's called, wave out, whatever, is mirroring the ASIO output. And in that case, that stereo mix or record what you hear or whatever that is, depending on which interface you have, that could be a good way around it. And if I don't care about latency, I bet you that'll work just as you're talking about. So that's always a choice. They also made ASIO Bridge, and for a little while I was using that. That's also the same guy that makes virtual audio cable and Voicemeeter, and it seemed to work. It wanted certain sample rates. I think it was a little bit weird. I think one of these things had to be in 32-bit mode. I can't remember. Or maybe that was the ASIO driver for OBS. Yeah, the OBS output capture didn't seem to work for this. There was one called Odin Router, and I don't know what happened to it. I think it's Odin Audio Router or something. I think it's gone now. There was Software Audio Router, I think, and that one never seemed to really work for me. Then there's Dante Via, which is pretty interesting. Like Voicemeeter, it expects you to use it as the driver, and then it kind of controls everything else. If you don't care about latency, this Dante Via thing is pretty neat. I think it was forced to certain sample rates, but was very interesting. But still, you know, I just really just want to be able to draw a patch bay and just connect all these things. So, you know, one thing is Voicemeeter. And pretty sure it'd be able to pull this off, again, if I don't care about latency. It's a bummer that it just won't let me take an ASIO output as an input or something, but maybe that's just not possible. But like virtual audio cable, Voicemeeter becomes a system device. And this is a super hardcore pet peeve of mine. So like if you install a new audio interface or whatever, Windows automatically like switches to it. And you know, my setup here is really complicated. So if the thing switches automatically, it can really mess stuff up for me. And I don't know how to keep it from doing that. I mean, if anybody knows, let me know. But I mean, the common case is like you have like some USB 2-channel interface you plug in and you take out. But, you know, you plug it in, it's totally changed all your settings and everything. You messed everything up. I just want Windows to remember what's routed to what and stay there. And then, you know, I put in a new device. Do you want me to switch to that? No. Or maybe I do, but I'll tell you. Don't do it for me. So there's a new, I'm sure it's not all that new, but Voicemeeter Potato was showing, had some kind of send and receive. Let me see, where is it? Let me see what it says. Voicemeeter Potato versus Banana. Man, boy, YouTube is just so, or sorry, Google is so hard to actually get any answers on anymore. So let's see, Voicemeeter Potato offers internal effects and external aux through send return flow workflow. I don't know. Anyway, so I installed Voicemeeter on this computer just to test out these kind of things, and of course it bumped my Windows routing all around, and now it's all messed up. If you're here at the beginning of this, you saw me trying to fight through this thing, and yeah, that wasn't fun. So what it does seem to do, though, so let me get this back up here. With Voicemeeter, you got your hardware input, so I could take the microphone input, Skype. I think some kind of, I thought there was a software input like for Skype or something. It's just a thing from your DAW. So you could put everything in here, but again, you're losing your low latency real time stuff. But there really probably is a way to do this, even with the Behringer stuff. Even if I wanted to use Reaper, using OBS and Skype with Voicemeter, I don't know. It just seems like just so weird that we can't just connect the audio from one app to the other and not. It's just so bizarre. I love having the loopback drivers and RME. You know, it's a lifesaver. Some of the Motu stuff I think does it. I think some of the other companies do the same kind of thing. So ideally, yeah. See, I wouldn't even bother sending Reaper into here because you're not going to be. Like, the only reason I would say for the teachers to use Reaper is so that they could like plug into guitar amp simulators and things like that. I think, you could do the same thing with OBS, but I think at that point, if you're going to lose your low latency stuff, you're not going to want to monitor through there anyway. But I could see you in this setup. Where is that draw.io? Sorry. So in this setup, I could see it that forget the Reaper part. I'm just going to take that off the screen over there. You send your webcam mic into OBS. Send your whatever that input from out there is, the guitar or voice mic or violin mic or whatever, that goes into OBS. Both of those you could put an effects. You could put some plugins on. Again, you're not going to want those in real time because the latency is going to be stupid. And from there, you should be able to send to Skype from NDI, hopefully. I'll have to give that a chance because I still don't know exactly for sure. We know that Skype's audio is going to come into OBS, but getting the audio from OBS into Skype is going to be the more difficult part. But I think that'll work. And if it doesn't, I think, again, I'm not positive, I think that I could do this with OBS. So that wouldn't be NDI with Skype then in that case. But yeah, see Skype caller, they're showing here. Cable out. See, that's using a virtual audio cable. So the way it looks like they're meaning to do it is to use the virtual audio cable from Skype. Let's see if that's right. Yeah, see, like I love this. It's virtual audio cable. There's your microphone. VLC, YouTube, a game, whatever. And then all your different outputs and your streams. See, it makes sense. Like Voicemeeter should probably be able to do this, but again, it's just weird. So with the Skype, am I using virtual audio cable in order to make Skype work? Let's see. Voicemeeter virtual input. I think that's how they want you to do it. Anyway, I am wiped out, and I'm hoping it's not from the no word. But actually, I hope if it is that I've got a really mild case of no and maybe I'll be immune after that. But I am on the hunt for figuring this out tomorrow, I think. If anybody knows how to make Windows just stick with whatever devices you told it and not go and change it on you, let me know. Anyway, I'm really wiped out. I will see you guys next week.